Hello, and welcome to another live ukulele jam with me, Matt Stead. It feels like it's been a while, doesn't it? Obviously, we had last week off because of the bank holiday, but for some reason, it just feels like ages and ages since we've been together. So, really looking forward to seeing you all tonight. So, pop into the comments if you can, and come and say hello. Oh, sorry to hear about your rough week, Tim. Hopefully, Kanikapila will get you back on track. So, hi Lisa, hi Fran, hi Indrani. Hope you're all doing well. So tonight we've got some sheets that actually we put together quite a long time ago and kind of held back just in case we had a bit of a gap where we wanted to fill. So we're going to do a science theme, which is quite unusual. We've got some really cool sheets for you tonight to look at. We can do a bit of the Flaming Lips, such a cool band. We've got a little bit of Coldplay. Who else have we got? A lovely song by Sam Cooke, Wonderful World, which is absolutely brilliant. And a bit of REM to finish off. So I didn't kind of purposefully make it this way, but it's a bit of an indie-tastic week. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. Just a reminder, in case you haven't been following on the website and whatnot, after this week, we're going to start alternating weeks. Kanikapila is going to be once a fortnight. And then on the gaps in between, we're going to do my new idea, basically, which is this Melodic Mondays. So this is where we'll take a very simple, sometimes a bit more complex, sometimes a bit more simple, but we'll basically take a melody and we'll learn that rather than the chords. So something a bit different. The reason I'm doing this is lots of people have been taking my courses, which is absolutely fantastic. And a lot of you have got into kind of chord melody playing and playing up the fretboard and things like that. And you kind of want to get beyond just playing the basic chords. So that's the idea. It keeps everyone happy and we get something to challenge you all, which is going to be fantastic. Thanks, Shona. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Karen. I hope you all had a wonderful Easter. So the first one of those is going to be next Monday. Where we're going to look at a piece of mine called Pale Pale Moon. Now this sounds way more complex than it is. I'll show you a much easier way to play this, but it's quite a pretty kind of... So I'll talk you through it. It sounds more complex than it is. It's the main reason I wanted to start off with this one is I wrote this myself and I purposefully used all the notes from the C major scale. So it's going to get us thinking about where to find those notes from the C major scale all over the fretboard, which is going to be super exciting. So that's going to be next Monday. I'll have the kind of the melody on screen, but all of my members will have access to the sheets to download in advance as well. So just go to mattsteadukulele.com, click on live lessons. Sorry, it took me a while to think about it. Click on live lessons and you'll find it listed under there, which is going to be great. And Indrani, I'm so glad you said this about having a weird because we had the long Easter weekend and everything, and then the short week. Just reminded me that even though we've got a bank holiday next weekend, I am doing the first of the Melodic Mondays next Monday. All right. So even though it's bank holiday, I'm going to come into work especially for you guys because I didn't want it to be such a long break this time, and I'm really excited about it. So yeah, absolutely. Is that an innie outie? Oh, I don't know what that means. Oh, do you mean the picking pattern, Carol? Yeah, it kind of is. Inside out. Yeah, kind of is. And then the other thing I wanted to tell you about is this Wednesday we've got our next live lesson, fortnightly live lesson. I'm going to learn a beautiful fiddle tune for ukulele called St. Anne's Reel. It's one of my favourite melodies from fiddle tunes. Often fiddle tunes, they only use the 1-4-5 chords because that was how old time and bluegrass music was generally constructed. But this one has some gorgeous minor chords in it and a really lovely lilting melody. So I think you'll really enjoy that. So do join me this Wednesday, 30th of April, if you can, for the next live lesson. Again, details, just click on live lessons on mattsteadukulele.com and you'll find it there. And then one last thing, and then we'll crack on. Just to let you know, there's a new Beatles lesson up as well. So if you're doing my Beatles course, I've done a strummed version of This Boy, which is a really beautiful early tune. One of my favourite early tunes, actually. It was the B-side to I Wanna Hold Your Hand. So check that out on the Beatles course as well. And thanks, Harry, for doing our ticker. Only 24 days until the next event. We're going to be in sunny Andalusia for the awesome Andalusian ukulele camp. So come and join us if you can for that one. All the details on the website again. So it's Matt, who, not me, the other another Matt who's arranging it, posted a video from Galston today and it looked absolutely stunning. So really excited about that. Okay, let's crack on with our sheets for tonight then. So, as I say, we've got a science theme tonight. So we've got 3 songs with a science theme. You guys probably know how all this works, but just as a quick reminder, rather than having the chords in the lyrics, which can be helpful in some ways, but unhelpful in that you don't know how long to play each of those chords for, in Kanikapila we do things slightly different, and the idea is if you can get used to playing this way and learning the chord personalities, that eventually you can start to play these by ear, which is really exciting when that starts to happen. For some people that takes a few years, some people a few months, so you know, don't force it, just keep trying and you'll get there eventually. So each of these boxes up here represents a measure or 4 beats in common time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we've got our Nashville numbers, and those illustrate the chord in the particular key. So every key has 7 main chords. We call them the diatonic chords. Don't worry about that. It just means the natural chords that come up in any key. And we have 1 through to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we assign a letter to each of those from the scale: C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And then we can take that one step further when we turn them into chords. The first, the 4th and the 5th tend to be major chords, and the 2nd, the 3rd and the 6th minor chords. All right, so in the key of C, C, D minor is 2, E minor is 3, F is 4, G is 5, A minor is 6, and then the 7th is a diminished chord, but we're not using that tonight, so don't sweat that one at all. So if you have a look here, some of these chord names have quite complex chord names, but they're actually easy peasy to play, so I'll show you in just a minute. But here, notice actually, let's have a look at the verse, because it's a bit more simple with the chords first. So here we've got a classic 1-4-5-1 progression, one of the most common progressions of all time. We have the 1 chord, which sets us off on our journey. Then we have the 4 chord that often follows the 1 chord in folk songs and Indian rock songs because it gives some change without adding too much drama. Then the 5 chord, and the 5 chord almost always leads back to that 1 chord. So 1, 4, 5, 1. And then for a bit of change, we go to the 4 chord to add a bit of variety for 2 measures. That blank one just means you play it twice. Resolution to the 1 chord. And then we've got a G at the end here, this one here, this 5. And that's really important because that chord, the 5 chord in any key, remember, is about creating tension. It makes you want to start to go back to the 1 chord. And the reason it's there is that the next half of the verse starts from a C. It makes you want to go and do the progression again. And then we have almost the same progression. You can definitely learn this one off by heart. Only the second time we don't have a G. All right. Now this one, there's loads of ways you can strum this one. I'm going to keep it really simple, and I'm just going to do a walk, walk, running, running strum pattern. Hi Karen, glad you made it. Glad you made it. That's going to be a down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. Walk, walk, running, running, walk, walk, running, running, like that, okay? So if I put the chords in, that will sound like this. Two of those Fs. Okay. Go again with a progression. G and C. Two Fs. And two Cs. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? You can do that. If you get a bit stuck in terms of the changes, you could just strum one chord per measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, just so you can keep up with it that way. That would be fine. And also, if you just want to do a normal calypso strum, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, that will work perfectly well on this piece as well. That works perfectly well. This one, incidentally, I forgot to say, is by a band called the Flaming Lips. They're one of my favourite bands of all time. This is from their album Soft Bulletin, which came out in 1999. And I remember when they launched the album, I had snuck into Glastonbury. I hitchhiked down with my friend, and we were really naughty. We climbed over the fence. And the Flaming Lips were playing in the new band's tent. And they were just blew our mind. They were just so incredible. Oh, hi, Craig and Sarah. I hope you're doing well. Everyone say hello to Craig and Sarah. We're plotting something very special, me and Craig and Sarah, for you guys as an extra treat in a little while. So keep an eye on that. Two of the loveliest people in the world. So say hi to Cameron. Give us a big hug if he's not already gone to school, guys. I hope you're doing well. So yeah, so Flaming Lips, they released this album in 1999. It's really interesting. It's quite bombastic sounding, but really beautiful. Really great. I think in another Kanikapila a while ago, we might have done Waiting for Superman, which was a really beautiful song from the same album. So that gives us our verse, really straightforward. The intro and interludes, they're really gorgeous. If we have a look at the chords, they look as if they're going to be really tricky, right? They've got names like F major 7, E minor 7, and so on and so forth. But actually, they're really simple to play, which is great. Craig and Sarah getting lots of love on the comments. Thanks, guys. Thank you. They're just brilliant. They're just brilliant. Can't wait. At some point, we're going to get them back over to the UK. We're going to drag them over whether they like it or not. Brilliant. Okay, so let's have a look at these chords. They're really simple to do. F major 7, there's two ways you could do it. The first is really difficult because it involves 4 fingers down here. It's a bit of a tough one. But you can also play it by using 2 fingers up at the 5th fret on the G and C strings. So G and C strings are covered at the 5th fret, and then the bottom 2 are open like so. And it's such a glorious sounding chord. And all it is literally is it's just an F chord with the 7th in the key of F added, which is an E, and it just sounds really beautiful. So we've got, what have we got? We've got the C up there, we've got an F here, we've got the A here, and here's the E on the open E string. Really beautiful, kind of almost like, I think of it as almost quite a floaty chord, which is lovely. Thank you, guys. We'll get to spend some time together soon, I absolutely promise. And then we go to an E minor 7, the 3 chords. So we're going down, aren't we, from F to E minor 7. And that's another easy peasy lemon squeezy chord. Kind of looks like a G chord, but without the finger on the E string. So 0, 2, 0, 2 from nose to toes. And that, quite simply, is an E minor with the 7th note in a key of E minor added. So all these chords, they sound really complex, but they're really not. And by adding those nice 7th notes, have a listen. They've got a kind of really unusual, kind of exotic sound, which is really beautiful. Then we go to the standard 4 chord, which is just a bog standard F. Then we go to the one chord, which obviously in the key of C is a C, but this time rather than playing it as a normal C major, we've got a C major 7. Again, that's just literally a C major chord with the 7th note in the key of C added, which is B, which is this note here. And it makes sense because if you think about it, when we normally play a C chord, we have C, E, G, and then we just repeat another C here. And when we play a C major 7, we have C, E and G still. But we also have this B note in. Again, a more wistful sound, isn't it, than the standard C major, which sounds really beautiful. So all of the chords in this intro are really easy to play, but they sound absolutely glorious, which is fantastic. Now, the only thing to notice in the intro, which is also the interludes, the little instrumentals, is that C major is played for 6 beats, so a measure and a half, or a bar and a half basically. So we would do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do another 2 beats, 1, 2 and 2 G's. And you can tell that because if you have a look, there's those 2 slash marks, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And did you notice there, if I use my second finger for that C major 7, then I can just plonk down these 2 fingers and it gives me my G. All right, let's have a go at that introduction. I'll stay on close cam. So get your F major 7 ready. 1, 2, 3, 4. E minor 7. F. C major 7. And 1, 2, G. Okay, let's do that with our strumming pattern. I was going a bit unusual there for my strum pattern. Let's do our walk, walk, running, running. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice that G at the end, just having it there, that 5 chord, it makes you want to go back to the start, doesn't it? Which is lovely, kind of turns things around. Now that's mostly it. We've also got the chorus here, but that's just a repeat almost of the chords from the intro. The only difference is at the end we have 2 measures of G rather than going back to that C, which is really, really lovely. Now on those instrumental parts, because we're in the key of C, we can use the C major pentatonic to play along if we want. These are in your scale reference books that you can use for every Kanikapila, remember. It's got all your major patterns and your pentatonics and whatnot. And the one that we're going to use is the C major pentatonic, which is also the same as the A minor pentatonic, relative minor. Now, that looks like there's loads of notes, especially if you have a look in this diagram. It's like, oh, there's so much going on. But if we just concentrate on this one, notice that the notes we can use to solo with this one, we've got open C, 2nd fret for D, open E, 3rd fret for G, open A, and 3rd fret for C. Now that's easy to remember, right? Off 2, off 3, off 3. Try and remember the note names as well if you can. But the other little trick that loads of you will know by now, we can also play notes. It's all your dots along your A string. Okay? Which is A, C, D, E, up to G, and another A. So you can play any of those notes. Now if I play a backing track in the background, and I can just noodle away using any of those notes, and it will sound relatively nice. Let me just see if I can get this going. Let's do a backing track, make sure I get the right one. Here we go. There it is. So I could just noodle away and it would sound something like this. Let me come in close. So just using the notes from the pentatonic scale, and it sounds really lovely. If you really want to sound cool and Flaming Lipsy, what you can do, I haven't tabbed this out, but I'll show you it because it's really easy. You can do this little pattern, which sounds something like this. Let me just play that again from the start. Here we go. And so on and so forth. Now, if you want to have a go at that, it's really simple. You can always write this down or just see if you can remember it, because it's really simple. Basically, we start with this note here, which is an E. That's the 7th fret of the E string. And then look for your next lots of dots. Notice this solo is built on the pentatonic scale we were just talking about. And we go up to 10, we go up to 10 and 12 like this. 10, 10, 10, 12, 10. Then we drop back to a D note. We do exactly the same thing up here again. We drop back to a C note, which can also play up here. Guess what? We do exactly the same thing again. And we either drop down to a B note down here, or you can play it here on the 7th fret of the E string. And then you just walk up B, C, D, and you do it again. And so on and so forth. Now, you don't have to do that, but it does sound cool. It imitates what's happening with the electric guitar in the original, which is really lovely and really cool. Okay, we're ready to go. So this one's quite easy to remember in terms of structure. The intro and the interludes are both the same thing. They're the top boxes on the first page, okay? And we have intro, verse, verse, chorus, and then an interlude, same as an intro, right? Verse, verse, chorus, and then an interlude and chorus. So it's the same thing, look. Intro, verse, verse, chorus, intro, verse, verse, chorus. You've just got to remember we've got an extra interlude and chorus at the end. If you're not sure, I'll try and say which bit we're on as we go as well. And I'll keep the chords up here in the boxes so you can have a go. Should we try playing our first song? Let's go crazy. Let's give it a go. I'm just going to bring up the lyrics on my iPad so I know what I'm singing. I should know this one off by heart, to be honest, but I'll just make sure I've got it there just in case. Okay, here we go. So get ready for your intro. Remember, we're going to do this walk, walk, running, walk, walk, running. Okay, here we go. I'll stay on this camera, I think. I'll just move up a bit. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. E minor 7. Major 7, quick G, and again. E minor 7, F, quick C, and our first verse. Two scientists are racing for the good of all mankind, both of them side by side. Here's our chorus. This is to those if you like. Otherwise, just strum with me. And we're going to do another of those. 1, 2, G, and again. Nice. Keep it going, guys. And F, C major 7, and here we go with another verse. Upwards to the vanguard, where the pressure is too high, under the microscope. Hope against hope, forging for the future, but to sacrifice their lives, both of them side by side. So determined, chorus. Theirs is to win if it kills them, but they're just humans with wives and children. Interlude. Ba-da-ba-da-da-da. Try your own little solo. Just use those dots on your C string, A string even, and again. Good. One more chorus. Theirs is to win, whoops, if it kills them, but they're just humans with wives and children. Let's do one more interlude just to finish. Well done, everyone. Keep it going. We'll do one more. Well done, everyone. Fantastic. Isn't that a great song? Really, really unusual. One of the things that I love about the Flaming Lips is everyone thinks they have like this really exotic, unusual, sophisticated sound. Lots of keyboards layered on, really unusual kind of chord progressions and stuff. And this is why I kind of love breaking things down like this, because when you look at it, it's not that complex at all, really, is it? It sounds complex, but it's not. So just playing an F major 7 rather than a bog standard F, it just gives it that kind of unusual kind of vibe, doesn't it? Which is really lovely, but it's really simple to do. And if you have a look at the chord pattern, it's just really straightforward, isn't it? We've got the 4 chord falling to the 3 chord, and then the 4 chord going back home to 1. And then in the verses, even more straightforward, a really common progression, 1, 4, 5, 1. That kind of setting off on a journey, the change to the 4 chord, tension of the 5 chord, going back to 1, and then in the next line just 4 to 1. So really, really simple. And again, even in the chorus, you've just got 4, 3, 4, 5, really simple, but just adding those extra 7th notes just makes it sound really glorious, doesn't it? There's some interesting, fascinating facts in the back here that Karen did. I didn't realise this. It was quite a nice learning experience for me as well. That Wayne Coyne, who is the main singer from Flaming Lips, he wrote this song after his father was suffering from with cancer. And he kind of wrote about, it's all about the race for the cure, basically, and that gave him this idea. And then he imagined these 2 scientists that were kind of competing for it. So it's kind of interesting, really, I think. So yeah, check it out. If you haven't heard of Soft Bulletin, do check it out. I think it's the Flaming Lips' best album. It's just absolutely brilliant. Joe's just saying that F major 7 reminds me of Penny Lane. Yeah, exactly. And shameless plug, exactly, Joe. If you want to learn about that F major 7 and its use in Penny Lane, get on the website, mattsteadukulele.com. On my Beatles course, I do a bit of a like an analysis of Penny Lane, because it's a really fascinating song to break down. Really, way more complex than it seems. And yeah, that F major 7's a big part of it, isn't it? So really nice. Well done, Joe. Fantastic. Okay, let's have a look. We'll do our second song now. Let's have a look at a song by Coldplay. Again, really interesting in that if you look at the Nashville numbers on their own, just the numbers, it's relatively straightforward again. So this song is in the key of D this time. Now the key of D has 2 sharps in it. Every key has a certain amount of sharps and flats, and the key of D has 2 sharps. D, E, F sharp, there's the first one, G, A, B, C sharp, there's the second one. Now the nice thing is that those sharps fall on chords that we don't play as often, so it falls on the 3 and the 6 chord, doesn't it? So we don't have to worry about the sharps when we're playing this through. And if you just look at the chords, notice that the chord progressions are relatively simple. And interestingly, it's almost like I planned it. They use similar structures to Race for the Prize that we just did. Notice that 3 chord coming in, which has a real nice sense of melancholy. Well, this one in the intro and the verses, we start with that 3 chord. And again, it's turned into a minor 7th rather than just a plain old minor, just to give it a bit more sophistication, which is lovely. Then we go to the 1 chord. Don't worry about the G sus2. I'm going to explain that in a minute. And then the next 2 measures are just the 1 chord, right? So that whole intro just goes 3, 4, 1. That's all there is to it. I'll explain all the little bits and bobs in a minute. And then the chorus is really easy as well. It just goes 4, 1. Really simple resolution, kind of change to resolution. And then the 5 chord at the end, adding tension, making you want to do it again. We'll go to another verse, see how it's working. And then the interludes, very, very similar to the verse, to the intro. In fact, this line is basically the intro again. So we've got 1, 4, 1. So 1 is your home chord, 4 for a bit of change, back to 1. And then we've got the melancholy of that 3 chord, and then 4 and 1 again. So in terms of Nashville numbers, really easy. Now it looks more complex than it is, again, because we've got those extended chords. Oh, Fran finished Penny Lane yesterday. Well done, fantastic. Yeah, it's not an easy one. I take those chords up the fretboard as well, don't I, Fran, for that middle 8 bit, which is a bit tricky, but yeah, well done. That's absolutely brilliant. Okay, so let's have a look at these chords. B minor 7 looks and sounds hard, but it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Just take that first finger and put it on the 2nd fret here, as close to this metal fret as possible, so you get a nice clean sound. Whenever we do bar chords, if you put them this side, you'll get buzzing. Have a listen. But if I go this side, nice clean chord. So B minor 7, just a B minor with the 7th added. That just means we're replacing this note here, which is a B, with this note here, which is an A. Okay. Now let's just do straight 8s for this to get going. Remember, straight 8s, if you've not done my thing before, is just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We call them straight 8s, even though I'm counting to 4, because if you notice, we're playing on the ands as well. So there's 8 beats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Just nice and light, all down strums. Then we go to a bog standard G chord for the next bit. That's your change chord in this key, that's G. Now you could just play that G chord for the whole of that measure and it would be absolutely fine. But if you want, you can add a sus to it. We can suspend this chord and turn it into a sus2. All you have to do for that is just lift off this finger off the A string. The reason it's called a sus2 is because it adds the 2nd note. In fact, it takes the 3rd note and moves it down to the 2nd note in the key of G, G, A. That's an A. So normally we would play a B, but in a sus2 we play an A. that note there. So that's all it is, a sus2. So you just lift off that finger on the final beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and like that. And then we've got a similar thing in the next measure. We've got a normal measure of D first. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we turn a D into a D sus2. What we do is we just strum a normal D, take away your third finger, and gives you a D sus2. The reason this one's a D sus2 is we're taking the third note in the key of D, which is this F sharp, and we're turning it into an E, which is the second in the key of D, D, E. So D sus2, take the third and turn it into a second, just like we did with a G sus2. Cool, huh? So that will look and sound something like this. Bar to start with. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Let's do it again. B minor 7. G. Quick sus2. D. And D. And sus2. Called up to meet you. Da 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 da. Really nice and simple, but really beautiful, right? If you find those sus chords difficult remembering where to put them, just play the standard chord. So just play G for the whole of the second measure, and just play D for the whole of the third and fourth measures. That'll be absolutely fine. And then the verse is easy, the chorus, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Just going to bring my lyrics up here. We've just got the 4 chord, and it's quite common to start a new section with the 4 chord, because remember, every chord number has a personality, and 4 is about creating a sense of change. And we're going to a new section, sense of change, makes sense, right? So it's really common to start with the 4 chord at the start of a new section. That's exactly what we've got here. D, E, F sharp, G. Had to think about it for a second there. So we do G for a measure. And then we do G for 3, and then just lift off this finger for the sus2, just like we did in the intro. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then the D. And then just like in the intro, we lift off again. And we do that line twice. And then we get the tension of the 5 chord, which is A, D, E, F sharp, G, A. And then to make the 5 chord even more tense, we turn it into a dominant 7. And then that just takes us back to the start again. Really lovely, isn't it? Really, really sweet. Carol's just saying, is that sus like a flat and another flat versus just one flat? Don't think about it as flattening a note, Carol. I think when people think of sus chords as flattening, it makes you think about a half-step movement. But whenever we turn a sus chord, whenever we take the third of a chord and we take it down to the second or up to the 4, just think of it as the next note in the scale. So it would normally be D, D, E, F sharp, but we're going to take it down to D, E for a sus2. And if we want a sus4, D, E, F sharp, we change that F sharp to a G because that's the next note. So don't think about it as an interval in terms of flattening, just think about it as the next note in the scale. A bit easier to work out then. Okay, so interludes they're almost the same. In fact, they're literally one note different to the intro. So the intro, we had this B minor 7, but in the interlude, we replace it with a D, which is only one note different, right? It's only that note that's any different. So we have 1 chord. No worries, Carol, 5 chord. Back to 1 chord. And then if you want to, you can add the sus. And then the 3 chord for touch of melancholy, change chords, back to the 1 chord. Really nice, right? So really, really lovely. So those interludes, they just act as a little instrumental. You can strum the chords, or if you want to, you could do a little bit of a solo if you want. Remember, I really like to encourage you guys to play some solos. I think it's a great way of playing. And if you want to solo on this one, because we're in the key of D major, this is page 17. I was just reading. It's page 17 of your scales and resources sheets. Thanks once again, Karen, for doing these brilliant updated scales and resources sheets. They're absolutely fantastic. So thanks with your help. And thanks to Esther and Barbara and Indrani for all their helps with the sheets as always. So D major pentatonic, start at the 2nd fret of the C string, up to the 4th, that's your E, back to the 2nd, F sharp, up to the 4th, up to the 5th, sorry, being daft, for A, back to B, that's 2nd fret again, and up to 5th again for D. So D, E, F sharp, A, B, and then back to D again. Okay, and you can think of it as a small gap of 1 fret in between, right, on the C string, and then a bigger gap on the next one, 2 frets in between, look, and same on the next one. Gives you a lovely little shape that you can use. Now you can extrapolate that further all over the fretboard. I quite often like to start with that shape just to get me going, and then I quite like this F sharp note up here, way up at fret 9. That sounds really nice. The reason I like that note is Chris Martin sings that note a lot, so it's worth worth including it in your solos. So again, you can use those pentatonics. You could use the full major scale, but I think it sounds really nice with these pentatonics. Let me see if I think I did a backing track for this one. Let me just have a look. Yeah, I did. Let's have a listen. So I'm going to keep it really simple and just do some really gentle noodling in the key of D so you can see how it works. So you can hear, particularly at the end of the solo, the reason I kept it simple is you can almost hear Chris Martin's lyric melody line coming through. Back to the start, called up to meet you. Yeah, so you can see how even Chris Martin's lyrics come from the pentatonic scale. The reason it's used so much in modern pop music is that it sounds pleasant to our ears. We've got used to hearing it, particularly in the last 20 years. But also, you're very unlikely to go wrong because every note in the pentatonic sounds sweet pretty much against the chords, which is why people use it to sing and to solo with. I'm just going to make these normal size again. And in terms of structure on this one, again, just try and remember that it's the same thing over. We've got intro, verse, 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 chorus. So 4 verses. Verse, 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 chorus. Okay. Then an interlude, which is the bottom bits, like the intro again. Then we've got same thing again. Verse, 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 chorus. This is really similar to the last song, isn't it? Thinking about it. And then we've got an interlude again, which is like the intro. And then we've got that outro at the end. All right. The oohs just come over the top of the interlude. Ooh, if you want to sing along with me, is absolutely fine. Okay. So verse, 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 chorus, verse, 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 chorus. You'll soon get it. It's really, really simple as we go. So this one, incidentally, what did I write about this one in my little noodles? This one, I'm trying to think. I think it's their second album, wasn't it? It's the one with parachutes and things on it for this one. 2002, yeah, 2002 this one was written. Apparently Chris Martin was writing this song. He wrote it by accident because he was trying to work out Isn't It a Pity by George Harrison, which I think is off his album Living in a Material World, which is a great song. And he was trying to work out the George Harrison song, and he ended up writing this song by accident. I've kind of done the same thing in reverse, where I think I've written an amazing song, and then I listened back to it and I realised I basically copied another song by accident. I did one on my album and I thought I had an amazing piano part, and when I played it back I realised it was just Me Mr Mustard by the Beatles, so it's easy to do. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick slurp and then we'll give it a go. Gosh, that's very cold coffee. Sorry guys, just keep me all lubricated. Okay, so I'll keep these on and let's give it a go from the top. Get your B minor 7 ready. Now you can just strum just down strums for those straight 8s, which is basically what I'm going to do. If you feel you want to add a little bit more to it, just touch on the way up occasionally. So you could do down, 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 up, 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 down, down. So often I'll just thicken it up. Okay, wherever you want, but the basic rhythm is just those straight 8s. Let's give it a go then from the top. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Let's do that intro again. B minor 7. So sorry I didn't have my lyrics ready. I'm so sorry. Oh, that was sounding lovely as well. Ever so sorry. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Intro one more time. Notice this is also the verse, so keep strumming this right up until we get to a chorus. Come up to meet you, tell you I'm sorry, you don't know how lovely you are. I had to find you, tell you I need you, tell you I set you apart. Tell me your secrets and ask me your questions. Oh, let's go back to the start. Running in circles, coming up tails, heads on a science apart. Chorus. Nobody said it was easy. It's such a shame for us to part. Nobody said it was easy. Nobody ever said it was this hard. Hey? Oh, take me back to the start. And G and D. B minor 7 and G and line over and over for a verse. I was just guessing at numbers and figures, pulling the puzzles apart. Questions of science, science and progress do not speak as loud as my heart. But tell me you love me, come back and hold me. Oh, when I rush to the start, running in circles, chasing our tails, coming back as we are. Chorus. Nobody said it was easy. Oh, it's such a shame for us to part. Nobody said it was easy. No one ever said it was this hard. Hey. I'm going back to the start. Try a little solo in the D, pentatonic if you like. And just keep strumming that interlude. And keep that going over and over those bottom two lines. Let's finish on the D. Our one chord. Yeah, well done everyone. Brilliant. I love how simple that is as well, particularly if you do those straight eights. Because you can do them really straight, as in just keep on down strumming. Or at any point you can just thicken it up with some up strums and it just sounds so effective. Yet so simple. So often people get obsessed with strum patterns, but there's no need. So yeah, that's a great one. No worries, Laura. I'll see you back at the start. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for your lovely messages, by the way. That was really, really nice to see. Okay, we'll take a quick break in the middle here before we look at our next song, which is an absolute classic, a Sam Cooke classic, Wonderful World. Really simple one, this as well. If you didn't like those minor sevenths and major sevenths, this next one is all just pretty much major chords. It's really, really lovely. Just a reminder of a few things coming up, that we've got our next live lesson, which is going to be this Wednesday at 3:30. If you can't make it live, all of these live lessons are available on the website, mattsteadukulele.com. Just go to live lessons and you'll see them there. I've given the website a bit of a freshen up, so it should make it a bit easier to use and be a bit more accessible. Just go to live for all of this live stuff, and there you'll find the fortnightly live lessons, which is our Wednesday ones. You'll find the new Melodic Mondays, which is every other Monday, and then Kanikapila Mondays, which is every other Monday again. All right. So, and if you go to the website and check out the archive, there's over 100 of these live lessons. It's mad. We've done well over 100 Kanikapilas as well, so you'll find them all there. You can take part, and the sheets will be there and everything as well. Just a reminder for anyone that's doing my Beatles course, I've put the next lesson up, which is a lovely strummed version of This Boy. B-side to I Wanna Hold Your Hand, and a great one. And it's in 12/8 time, so quite an unusual one, this one, this boy. Really, really great. So check it out if you can. If you haven't enrolled on it, it's just go to my website and click on the Learn bit, and that will open up all the courses that you can take part in if you'd like to. And this boy is on the Beatles course. And then finally, just a reminder that our Mondays, we're going to alternate between Kanikapila Mondays, which is what we're doing now, and we're going to do this every other Monday, and Melodic Mondays, where we're going to look at a melody. In this case, we're going to do a chord melody version of My Pale Pale Moon, which is going to be heaps of fun, I hope. Oh, no worries, Liam. No worries, no worries. You've only missed the first two. You've still got another two to come if you'd like to join in, so worry not. And just a little reminder that we've only got 24 days until the awesome Andalusian ukulele adventure. I've been talking to Matt P and arranging the songs we're going to do. It's going to be a whole heap of fun. We've got like a trad jazz one, we've got a pop one, and we've got an indie one. So it's going to be really interesting, the songs that we're going to learn. I'll teach you all sorts of skills, going up the fretboard, scalar work in melody, going up the fretboard, all sorts of stuff. So come and join us in Spain if you can. It's going to be absolutely glorious. Get in touch if you want any more information about that one. And of course, next year's cruise, cannot wait. February 13th to 22nd next year. If it's anything like the one we did this year, it'll be one of the best times of your life. I absolutely loved every second of it, so hopefully you'll enjoy that too. Okay, let's go back to, let's look at our last two songs then. Got something very, very different here in that we've still got simple chord progressions again, lots of 1-4-5s like we did in the first two. Only in this one, the chords are really straightforward. We haven't really got any 7s apart from dominant 7s, which are easy peasy lemon squeezy. This one is in the key of G. So G is our one chord. That's the one that feels solid and resolved to. Then we would have A minor, B minor, C, D, E, and F sharp. Remember, every key has a certain amount of sharps and flats, and the key of G major has one, and it's that F sharp. So G major, A minor, B minor, C, D, E, and F sharp. And notice this is really important. I really want you to soak this up, that even though we're in a different key, we still have major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, and then our diminished chord at the end there. And this pattern, which is a 1-6-4-5, which literally just means we use the first, 6th, 4th, and 5th chords in the key. This is often called the doo-wop progression. It's used in a lot of doo-wop songs, things like Blue Moon, I saw you standing alone, all that sort of doo-wop stuff. And in fact, actually, interestingly, talking about This Boy by the Beatles, that uses this same progression, but in 12/8. So it's kind of interesting that this doo-wop progression was so kind of influential. It all goes back to George Gershwin's I Got Rhythm. I got rhythm. So it's been used for decades in jazz music especially. The reason being, the one chord goes beautifully to the 6th chord because there's only one note differentiation. So the only note that's changing from this G chord to this E minor, if we do it this way, is this note, the 4th fret of the C string. And in fact, I've shown you this many times if you've done my Kanikapilas before, that a quick way of getting to G to E minor is just to plonk that little finger down on the 4th fret of the C string. Gives you this shape because this finger no longer does anything, but you can keep it there if you want, or you can go traditionally and just use these 3 fingers here. Then we go to the C chord for the change in the middle, and then the 5 chord for tension, which again, 5 chord always wants to take you back to the start, right? So it's like the perfect chord combination to keep a song moving along and sounding really, really pleasant. Now, in terms of the strum on this one, there's a couple of things you can do. I actually like to vary up my strum. Sometimes I do that within a piece of music. So, sorry, I didn't mean to go to that camera. I'll stay on this one. So I start by strumming a walk, walk, running, running, or down, 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 up, down, up. What do I mean? I like to think phonetically, right? Walk, walk, running, running, walk, walk, running, running. You can think of it as down, 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 up, or down, down, cha, 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 cha. However you want to remember it, that's what we've got. And I like to start my verses with that. Don't know much about history. Don't know much. But often on the second measure, or every other measure, I like to go to traditional calypso, which is down, down, up, down, up. Okay? Walk, running, and running. And I think that's a really nice way of like varying up things, so you're not just doing that pattern over and over. Thanks, Laura. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's going to be great. We're going to get everyone playing an open mic as well in the village. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be great. So I'll show you what I mean. What that will sound like. Down, 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 up, calypso. Down, 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 up, calypso. Down, 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 up, down, up, down, up. Okay, now if you find that really tricky, you can just do the calypso, the island strum over everything. That will be absolutely fine as well. And to be honest, you could even just strum up and down. You can just stay in time with me. I'm getting a really horrible buzzing sound from this ukulele, and I've just realised it's not the ukulele. My shirt sleeve is vibrating on the strings. There we go. Better. Got. I'm just going to tune up as well. So this verse is just a 1-6-2-5. Really simple doo-wop progression. Let's do a couple just so you can see how it sounds. I'll get the lyrics up. Okay. It will sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't know much about history. Don't know much about biology. Don't know much about science, but don't know much about the French I took. Isn't that cool? Really simple. I love Sam Cooke. He's just got such a beautiful voice and such a really great arrangement. Now, the chorus is almost the same thing. You think it's going to do the same thing. We've got 1 and 6. But I do know that I love you. But it goes back to the 1 and 4 chord one more time. And I know that if you love me too. 5 chord for tension. What a wonderful world. Back to 1. This would be. Okay. I'll do one of those chorus. 2, 3, 4. But I do know that I love you. And I know that if you love me too, what a wonderful world it would be. Yeah, really, really great, right? So this one, 1960 this was written, turn of the 50s into the 60s, 1960. I don't know if you guys know, but Sam Cooke's story is so tragic. We don't really know who murdered him. He was murdered in 1964. But what a tragic loss of life. And I mean, sometimes I think, I was going to say, like, you know, he could have had the career of, say, a Marvin Gaye, who went on to do later stuff of Motown. But then, of course, Marvin Gaye was murdered as well, which is really tragic. But yeah, 4 years after this song was recorded, so he passed away. It's really, really sad. But he left a lovely legacy, even if it was short. Okay, so that's most of it. Now we've got a bridge section, and this is really easy. Remember, when we go to a new section, it tends to be the 4 chord for change, the relative minor for a touch of melancholy, or we go to the 5 chord, which really ups the tension. And that's what we've got here. So we start the bridge on the 5 chord, which is D. That it resolves by going to the 1 chord. And it does it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have the tension of the 5 chord, and we're going to play it as an A 7th rather than an A major, which gives even more tension. Back to 1 again. And then the 5 chord one more time. Not the 5 chord, sorry, it's the 2 chord being played as a 7th. I'm being daft. And then the 5 chord D7 at the end. Notice that's the first time we've played the 5 chord as a dominant 7th. It's mostly just been the major chord, but that ups the tension further and makes you want to go back to G at the start of the next bit. Okay, it's creating almost like a 2-1, 2-5. Okay, and then we go back to the start. Okay, the bridge is slightly more unusual. That's now I don't claim to be an A student, but I'm trying to be. Maybe being an A student, baby, I can win your love for me. Da 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 da. Then we're back to our lovely verses. Now this one doesn't really have an instrumental so much. There's a verse near the end where he sings just like ta-da-das and ums and ahs and stuff like that. You could solo over the top in the key of G if you want. I'll just show you quickly how you would do that. But it's this bit here. Is la-da-da-da-da, history, biology. So you could just sing those parts over the top. Because we're in the key of G, if you want to solo on this one, what you would use is the G major pentatonic. I won't break out the sheets because it'll take a bit long, but that's the same shape we did for D major pentatonic down here. But we're going to start it, instead of starting it at a D note, you've guessed it, we're going to start it way up here at a G note, 7th fret. Now Indran is there, so in 5 minutes in the comments, or maybe 5 seconds, you'll see. Indrani always likes to point out, quite rightly, that the G major pentatonic is the My Girl riff. Isn't that great? I got sunshine. So you can play any of those notes up there. You can also play the E minor pentatonic, which is a similar shape down here, starting at the 4th fret, up to 7, 5, 7, 5, 7. Okay, it's the relative minor of G, so all of those notes work as well. But there's, honestly, by the time you get started, it'll be time to stop your solo anyway, so don't sweat that. I just wanted to give you the option. You can just sing along with me if you like. Right, let's bring the chords back on screen and let's give this one a go. So don't worry, Indrani, we got there, we got there. Do, 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 do. Such a great song that, isn't it? I got sunshine. Okay, here we go. There it is. So nice and gentle strum. You can just do the island strum throughout if you're not sure on this one. Keep it nice and light on this one. Let's have a go at Sam Cooke's Wonderful, Wonderful World. I think what we'll do, because it goes straight into the first verse, let's just play a verse instrumentally to get us going, and then we'll do a verse again as our first proper verse. All right? So instrumental verse and then a proper verse. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Over again with the words. Here we go. Don't know much about history. Don't know much about biology. Don't know much about a science book. Don't know much about the French I took course. But I do know that I love you. And I know that if you love me too, what a wonderful world this would be. Don't know much about geometry. Don't know much trigonometry. Don't know much about algebra. Don't know side rules for chorus, but I do know one and one is two. And if this one could be with you, what a wonderful world this would be. Rich. Now I don't claim to be an A student, but I'm trying to be. For maybe by being a student, baby, I can win your love for me. Don't know much about history, don't know much about biology, don't know much about science book, don't know much about the French I took, but I do know that I love you, and I know that if you love me too, what a wonderful world this would be. Remember this? Da 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 da, history, biology, da 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 da, science book, French I took, but I do know that I love you, and I know that if you love me too, what a wonderful world this would be. Haha, yeah, fantastic. So simple. It's just so simple yet so great. I love that song. Just absolutely brilliant. And of course the original of the amazing bass and guitar and everything. It's just absolutely fantastic. So I love that. Love that. Okay, let's have a look at our fourth and final song for tonight. Now this one is a little bit tricky. Now it kind of comes with a caveat. Normally every week we have a People's Choice where you guys choose a song from the Kanikapila vaults. As I say, we've done well over 100 Kanikapilas now. Might even be over 120 now. And what Karen does on the Facebook page is she'll do a poll of some of the absolute classic songs we've done, and you guys get to vote on it. And the winner gets played last at Kanikapila, and we do that as our People's Choice. This one was slightly different because this one was one that we had in reserve, as I say, so we weren't sure we were going to be able to do a People's Choice. So we just chose a song from previous sheets which had a science theme, and this one does, I guess it's physics, because this one's What's the Frequency, Kenneth by REM. Now occasionally we do a song at Kanikapila just because I love the song, or I really want to teach it, or it just works really well. But sometimes the chord progressions are quite busy. So for this one, what I would recommend, you can use the Nashville numbers, and it's a great thing to do. But just as you're learning it tonight for me, just take it more literally and look at the chord names as we're doing it. Just purely because if you look at the verse, most of the chords only last for 2 beats. So to try and compute it in your head with the Nashville numbers, probably a bit too tricky. So just do it that way. It'll be absolutely fine. Okay. Now this one's from REM's album Monster, which is a fantastic album actually. Not my favourite. I like Automatic for the People, and I like Green. In fact, I like loads of REM, but those are probably my favourites. And it was written in 1994 about Dan Rather, who was a news presenter for CBS, I think. And he was attacked by this guy. And the guy who was eventually arrested for murder, not Dan Rather's murder, but another person's murder, he was shouting at the time, "What's the frequency, Kenneth?" over and over and over. And so Michael Stipe wrote this song about it, basically. And interestingly, if you have a look again in the fascinating facts in the back, Dan Rather actually met up with Michael Stipe much later, and they do a version of it on the Saturday Night Live? One of those kind of television shows in the evening. So no worries, Pam. No worries. We will see you soon. So this one's about that basically, and it's off their album Monster, which has some really bombastic, cool songs on it. Now, what I want to do is just have a look. No, let's have a look at the intro first. I was going to start on a verse, but let's have a look. This is played on really loud electric guitar by Peter Buck. So it's always going to sound quite different when we do it on the ukulele. But basically, we're going from the 1 chord to the 4 chord. We're in the key of C now. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. So the 1 chord is C. And we go into the 4 chord, which is a natural thing to do, as I taught you earlier, because it's just the change chord, which is the 4 chord. Now, if we ignore the G chord at the moment, that would be 1 chord of C, 1 measure of C like this, sorry. And 1 of F. This one you can just strum up and down if you like. I quite often like to think of it as 1 and 2 and a 3 E and a 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3 E and a 4. But you could just strum up and down with a straight strum, you'd be absolutely fine. Now what makes this tricky is you'll notice that there's a G chord on the 4th beat of those measures. 1, let's just change rhythm a little bit, sorry. See if you can copy me of this. 1 and 2 and a 3 E and a 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3 E and a 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3 E and a 4. If you find that too tricky, just keep those downs going. But what we're going to do when we reach 4, we're going to hit the G chord really quickly and then the 4 chord, the F afterwards. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, fabulous. So that's our little intro. Now the verses, the chords come thick and fast, but they're really straightforward chords. You know how in the last song we had that 1, 6, 4, 5? Well, we've got the same chords here. You'll see the 1 chord, the 4 chord, the 6 chord and the 5 chord, but they're played in a different order. It's quite interesting, this one. So we start with a 5 chord in the key of C, which is G, then straight to the 1 chord, then 6, then 4. So it's like an inverted 1, 6, 4, 5. We've got 5, 1, 6, 4. G, C, A minor, F. Then we just have G to C and G to F. 5, 1, 5, 4. Then the next line, the key thing to notice with this next line is it's all the same apart from the next measure. G, C, A minor, F, G, C. Only this time we have 6 and 2, which really lifts it. So A minor and D. Let's try one of those verses. I'll do it with the lyrics so you can see how that works. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's frequency? Can it? Bends a dream, and then a second line. I was brain dead, locked out, not up to speed. A minor and D. That A minor and D really lifts it. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Pre-chorus is easy peasy lemon squeezy because it's just 4, 5, 4, 5. F, G, F, G. I thought I picked you an idiot's dream. Tunnel vision from the outsider's screen. Then in the chorus we got 1, 4 and 5 chords. Just follow the letters, I think, rather than the numbers because it's a lot to think about. So we have C, G, C, and then hang on G for a whole measure. F and G. Exactly the same again. C, G, C, F, whole measure of G, F and G and C. Okay, I'll sing the lyrics over the top of that so you can have a go at that as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. I never understood the frequency. You are expectations like an iron suit. And then at the end, F and G and C. That end C at the end just means hang that C, hit it once, and then just hang it. No worries, Karen. See you again next week, and I hope you're doing well. Well, I'll see you online before then, but you know what I mean. So that's our choruses. Relatively straightforward. Again, it's just the chords come thick and fast. The final chorus just does that over and over without the C at the end. We just keep doing those two lines over and over. You'll be able to work that out, no problem. And then the instrumental's really nice. We go to the relative minor. I mentioned this earlier, a really common thing. When we start a new section, it tends to be the relative minor, or the 4 chord or the 5 chord. And here we got the relative minor. We're in the key of C, C, D, E, F, G, A. And remember, to find the relative minor, we just count up to 6. So A minor. Don't sweat the theory too much. But just notice it keeps the feel of the song, but it adds the sadness, a touch of tension from that minor chord, A minor, to G, the tension of the 5 chord, A minor, G again, A minor, G again, stay on G for a whole other measure, and then we've got the F, G, C, like at the end of the chorus. Really nice, right? Now that one, because we're in the key of C, on the instrumental bit, it's got this really kind of bent guitar solo, so wow, 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 which you kind of need guitar pedals and all sorts to get that kind of sound on the ukulele. But you can use your C major pentatonic. We did it earlier. That's 0-2 on the C string, C, D, 0-3 on the E string, E, G, 0-3 on the A string, A, C. And remember, you can also do the trick where we play all the dots on the A string. That'd be absolutely fine as well. Regular Kanikapilas, you'll have done this loads, no doubt. Let me just, I think I've did a background one for this one. Yeah, I did. So just noodle away with those notes. It'll sound something like this. And I like to join in with those last 3 chords at the end. Even if I'm soloing, I think it sounds really good, and it's good to get into the habit. That's what Peter Buck does on the original, of kind of having chords that bring you in, back in. I'll show you what I mean. I'll do that again. I'll be noodling away. And then on the last bit, I'll... Oh, no, here. I'll just hit that F, G, C. I'll try and tell you when it's coming up. It just sounds really, really, really cool. So have a little try of that if you like. This one's probably the hardest one we've done tonight. Not a hard chord, you'll notice. It's mostly just C, G and F, isn't it? But just remembering where you are and following it along is a little bit more trickier. So just give it your best here. What I would say is if you get totally lost, just listen out for the pre-chorus where it goes to F and G, and then that will kind of give you a grasp of where we are. But we've got that intro, which only happens once. Verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Verse, pre-chorus, chorus. That's easy to remember, right? So verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Okay. Then we've got that instrumental, which was this bit. And then guess what? Verse, pre-chorus, chorus. And that last chorus lasts for ages. So it is basically in order. You do the intro and then bum, 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 bum. Then the instrumental, bum, bum, bum. All right, so you'll be able to, hopefully you'll be okay on this one. So as I say, don't worry too much about Nashville numbers on this. Just see if you can follow through using the chords and just enjoy it. So I'll stay around as I always do for 5 minutes at the end, just see if I've got any questions or anything. Absolutely happy to answer anything at all ukulele related, so it doesn't have to be about this song. I'm always here to help. But in the meantime, I want to say a massive thank you for joining me again. It's always nice to get back together when we've had a little break. So I've really been looking forward to this one today. And remember, we do have an event next Monday, even though it's bank holiday. We're going to do our very first Melodic Mondays. So do come and join me then. And if you're around on Wednesday, come and join me for the live lesson as well. Right, enough talking. I'll stay around to chat at the end. But let's give this one our best shot. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. What's frequency, Kenneth? Is your Ben's a dream? I was brain dead, locked out, numb, not up to speed. I thought I pegged you as an idiot's dream. Tunnel vision from the outsider's screen. Chorus. I never understood the frequency. You are expectations like an answer. 2, 3, 4. I studied your cartoons Well done, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. Michael's like, oh my goodness, he'd be angry if he heard me sing that because I'm sure I got lyrics wrong here and there, but I gave it my best shot. It's one of those ones where the lyrics, they just do not scan easily. So hopefully you could follow that one along with me as best you could. But thank you guys. I really enjoyed that tonight. It's so nice to get back into things. It's after we've had a little break. It's been a whole heap of fun, which has been great. So thank you. And I hope you're enjoying the sunshine where you are. I was out butterflying this weekend, so I thought I'd show you some of the butterflies I saw. This one, it's a bit blurry because of the big screen, but this one's a beautiful Duke of Burgundy. It's one of our spring butterflies that comes out normally in May, but it's started to be a bit earlier in April. And we get these around the Stroud Commons. They're really beautiful butterflies. Look like a fritillary, but they're technically not, but an absolutely gorgeous butterfly. And then this one's really special. This is a pearl bordered fritillary. This one is a fritillary, and this one was nectaring on a cute little dandelion. And these were in the woods really nearby Stroud. These ones, they kind of feed on bugle and stuff like that. So I was dead chuffed to spot those. So if you're interested in all my twee butterfly hunting and all that, make sure you add me on Facebook, and my personal page is Matthew Stead. So if you want butterflies and kids and football, Matthew Stead. All your ukulele stuff is Matt Stead, and of course you'll find all that on my website as well. So Matt Stead, ukulele.com. Thanks, Shona. Thank you. So pentatonic, for this one, the pentatonic part, there's two ways you can do it, Carol, for the pentatonic. Because it's in a key of C, you can do the C major pentatonic, which is C, D, E, G, and A, and the C again, if you like. So that's 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 3. But you can also do the A minor pentatonic, the relative minor, which is A, C, D, E, G, and A again. That's the one that's all your dots. Open A, 3rd fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, 10th fret, and little finger on the 12th fret up there, which is nice. So, yeah. Nice. Indrani saw lots of flat buys this weekend. Fantastic. I just think they're such beautiful creatures. I absolutely love them. Like little works of art, aren't they? They're even this one, it's so tiny, but you look at that underwing, isn't it gorgeous, with the different kind of the whites and oranges and everything, really different. So yeah, it's lovely. No worries, Carol, no worries. Thank you, Jenny, thank you. I love playing that one. I love REM. It's absolutely just one of my favourites. I'm trying to a while ago I worked out night swimming. If you're interested, I think it's one of my live lessons. You'll be able to search it on YouTube. I did a version of night swimming. I think I do it on my fingerstyle course as well. And I'm trying to relearn it off by heart so I can do it at the concerts I've got coming up, because I love a bit of REM. So just before I go, any more questions, give us a shout before I head off for my tea. We've got this Wednesday, St. Anne's Reel. We're going to do another fiddle tune. And if you're enjoying all these fiddle tunes, by the way, that I've been doing on a Wednesday, I don't always do them. We've done all sorts, but I've been doing a lot of them recently. I'm going to have a new book coming out this summer of fiddle tunes for ukulele. So keep an eye out for that. This one's St. Anne's Reel, which is a great one. And we're going to do a chord melody version of that, which is going to be fantastic. Then next Monday, we are going to be here. So even though it's bank holiday, do come and join me for the very first inaugural Melodic Mondays, where we're going to do similar to Kanikapila in some ways, but we're going to learn a melody. We're going to do one melody, really get into the nitty-gritty of it, which is going to be fantastic. So thanks, guys. Thank you. Yeah, Johnny, their striped antennae are really cool, aren't they? Love it. Love it. See you later, everyone. See you guys. And then just to let you know, Monday after that, we're back for another Kanikapila as well. So these are going to be alternating with Melodic Mondays. So Melodic Monday, one Monday, and then the next Monday will be Kanikapila, and we'll just keep alternating them like that. So do come along and enjoy it if you can. Thanks, Fran. If anyone enjoyed that and they want to contribute towards the running costs of the Kanikapilas, I'll always keep Kanikapilas for free. But if anyone wanted to send things over, I'm at paypal.me/the Uke Room. You'll find the link in the description and the comments right at the start as well. So I will see you either this Wednesday or next Monday, hopefully, where we're going to go melodic mad, which is going to be a whole heap of fun. So I will see you then, everyone. Much love. Take care. And I will see you soon. Maybe with some more butterflies. Cheers, guys.